Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. So one thing that comes up all the time when we're thinking about investing in things for our business, the spending decision happens where you have to decide, am I going to pay the premium price for the premium thing, or am I going to pay the price for good enough? And that might differ. And your answer should never be one or the other consistently. And then I started unpacking, well, when is the premium price the right answer? When does it make sense to do that? And I sort of came up with a framework. Now, this is also inspired by a conversation I had with Jason, where he was giving me advice on, what to focus on, like the business lessons he's learned over his nearly 2 decades of business. And we were talking about some of the biggest things he's learned. And a lot of that was infused into this framework. And one of the things was like, don't waste money on premium things that don't serve you in a certain way, but also don't get cheap on the stuff that really matters. So where is that line drawn and how can we figure this out? So we came up with three factors that would help you decide if you're on the fence about investing in the premium thing versus the basic thing, whether that is a piece of software, whether that is actually a product, whether that's a solution, whether that's a service, but also whether it's a person, an employee, a contractor. Because I actually realized that a lot of this philosophy, even though we're kind of thinking about software in a practical sense, a lot of this stuff really does relate to people as well and how you invest in your people. So think about it this way. There's really a three-factor formula we use to consider and say, how will I use this product or service? And that will drive if I'm going to spend money on it or not, or invest more. So number one, if you use it to generate revenue from a proven offer. So here's an example. If you are using a product, let's just say it's a software tool that you're going to use to deploy, say, an online course. So I need to invest in the best online course to give my users a great experience. And this is a primary way I make money and it is proven. Then I would say that is worthwhile. Because number one, that's going to get usage out of it. It's gonna have miles on it. This is kind of my philosophy on cars as well. If this is the thing that you're going to drive to get from point A to point B every day, you're going to be using it to generate revenue. And it's a proven thing that you're going to have to use, then I would say it's worthwhile. So you want to invest in best of the best, especially when it's customer facing. And that's one thing I didn't include in this framework. But if you're using it to generate revenue and it's customer facing and it's part of an association with your offer, then by all means, I say that investing in a premium product is probably a good idea. Now, what does that actually mean, a premium product? I just mean when you're looking at the different options available to you and you just kind of feel like there is one that's a higher end, a lot of different products have this, whether it's liquor at the bar, right? You have the top shelf, whether it's cars, you have these luxury brands. So if you want to invest in the premium thing, you figure out if it's worthwhile based on, hey, is it actually going to generate a return for me? Or is it just going to be a cost I incur? And is it just a cosmetic thing? That's really what we're trying to explore here. And number two, I kind of alluded to it, would be, are you going to use it frequently? So if this is the car that's getting you from point A to point B to work every day, if this is for example, coffee machine, I'll give you an example at my house. We invested what would be considered a absurd amount of money in an espresso machine. The espresso machine was in the villa where we stayed on our honeymoon in Grand Cayman. They had this company, and it was these espresso machines that were in the walls. They were flush to the walls in the kitchen and in the bedroom. Super creative, with mugs hanging underneath. And we loved the espresso. We just associated this machine with this like luxury experience of the espresso. And we said, look, I looked at Jason and I'm going, hey, I drink like 3 or 4 shots a day. You drink 3 or 4 coffees a day. If we ended up buying, we priced it, looked it up online, and we said, if we end up buying this machine, it's going to pay it for itself in less than a year because look how many coffees we make. And we would actually make more and we would enjoy them more if we had an experience like this with all these different styles of coffee we could make and the high quality of the fresh ground beans. So, what did we do? We bought the machine. That machine is still in our kitchen 7 years later, cranking out coffees, still in our kitchen, just healthy as hell. And we got, if you think about it, so much freaking value out of that because we use it every single day, 6 times a day. And that's what I want for you is to find the thing that you're going to use frequently. Frequency matters. So if it's something you use every single day, it is worth spending the money to go for the thing that's going to generate the return because you're going to get your miles out of it for sure. And then lastly, if the solution you're looking for solves a productivity problem. So if you are operating software, let's say, and you have the option to upgrade the software. I'm going to use an example in my business. When we decided to move to a practice management tool, for a while we used Canopy. We've now moved on to mostly using Asana coupled with a few other document management platforms. But when we moved over into, say, Asana, we decided that we were going to just pay for the top tier subscription with all of the features we would need. So we would be unbridled, unlimited, and unrestricted in terms of how we were going to use it. Because I said, look, I'm all in on this Asana thing. We started using it. We did the free trial, and I was like, okay, we're going all in on this. And we're going to use this every single day. And this is going to help unlock massive growth in our business because it will solve the productivity problems we have. It will solve the confusion of who should be doing what when. It will make everything more visible to our whole team. So when we decided to do that, we just decided to go all in and buy the top subscription. Now, do you have to do that? No, but when you're evaluating this as a decision for your business, this is what to consider. You want to think about, is it worth it to for something I'm going to use every day, something that's going to solve a productivity problem or generate revenue for me? It's worth it. It's 100% worth it. And it will help you save costs. It will help you save frustration. May even also help you attract and keep the right talent on your team. If you can solve a productivity problem with this and you can make it easier to work here. Now, in the context of actually, I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, actually doing this with humans. So if you're investing in people, if you're paying for top talent and you're investing a premium to generate revenue, AKA a sales team, a rock star sales team, or rock star marketing team, if you're using it frequently, AKA if the person's role has tasks that are done on repetition constantly and are heavily relied upon. Or three, to solve a productivity problem, if the person becomes efficient and gets the work done in half the time, aren't they worth double the price for all the output that they're going to get for you, where they don't have to pause, take a break, and ask you for more help? I mean, that's worth their weight in gold, right? So when you evaluate where to invest your money, I want you to consider all of these things. And if the thing you're trying to invest in does not generate revenue, does not solve a productivity problem, and maybe you're not going to use that frequently, then it may not be worthwhile to go all out and spend the money on the bigger, better thing. It may be worthwhile to just go the lighter model. I'll give you one more example of this. When I got a new iPhone, I mean, we all know the iPhone is basically attached to our left hand all the time. For me, because I'm right-handed, but I'm holding my phone in my hand all the time. And it makes all the sense in the world for this phone to be the top of the line phone, like whatever the latest model is. Now, I think I have iPhone 12 currently. It works just fine, but it's worth it to me to have the iPhone and to pay for the storage and to get what I need, the apps and things like that I use daily. Now, it does not make sense for me to buy a really fancy iPad. A really fancy iPad would not be worthwhile because I use that only when I travel. So it's really important to remember that you invest in the right things in the right spots. You can make those choices really wisely. So if you're going to do this, I think I would really put yourself through a decision process before you go and upgrade something on a whim or on a spontaneity strike. Just think about it. If it meets these criteria, or you can develop your own criteria based on this and figure out, is it really worth it for me and my business?
Have you been wanting to create an online course, but you want to do almost anything else besides designing, scripting, and filming the actual content? That was 100% how I felt. I knew I had a lot to say, but I never carved out the time to make the material. But if you have something worth sharing with the world to help your clients, procrastination should not hold you back. My course creator, Jasmine Jonte, is offering a done for you service to help you get this done in less than a week. And the best part is, it's done in Arizona for a retreat week, free from distraction and all the noise around you. You'll walk away with a course created and filmed with the beautiful backdrop of your destination, plus her team will be taking care of production, graphic design, and even more to help you accelerate the process. She's only accepting a small group, so check this out now and snag a spot using the link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.